Token Metrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at tokenmetrics.com. Disclaimer: Token Metrics Media LLC does not provide individually tailored investment advice and does not take a subscriber's or anyone's personal circumstance into consideration when discussing investments, nor is it registered as an investment advisor or broker-dealer in any jurisdiction. Information contained herein is not an offer or solicitation to buy, hold, or sell any security. The Token Metrics team has advised and invested in many blockchain companies. A complete list of their advisory roles and current holdings can be viewed here at tokenmetrics.com/disclosures.
All right, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm Ian Bellina. Today we have the pleasure of being joined by the original Wolf of Poloniex. How are you, man?
Cheers.
How's it going?
Pretty good. How about yourself, man? Long time.
Good. So first of all, for those who might know you from 2017, prior to the bull run, you doxed yourself in a way, right? You went from being private to now kind of putting your face out there.
Yeah. Not necessarily my name, just my face. But I've already met so many people in the space that a lot of people already know my face, and I don't know. It was mostly for marketing sort of thing, because people just like to think about like, oh, who's this mysterious guy? But now, the space is growing definitely, so it's getting a lot more like professional and all that. So doxing yourself, or at least like so people can put a face to a name, has its advantages. Yeah.
All right. So for those who might not know you, who was the Wolf of Poloniex?
The DGen King, man. No. I was a crypto Twitter trader in 2016, 17 mostly. And then 2018 until my original account got banned, unfortunately. But from there, I basically went on some crazy winning streak that garnered like 137,000 followers.
Wow, that much? Wow.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, when the account went down, I had 137,000.
Okay, so what got the account banned?
I was just trolling too much. I wasn't aware of the fact that 3 suspensions is Twitter has a 3-strike rule. 3 suspensions and the account's permanently banned. So whenever I would get suspended, I was just like, can't talk for a day or 2 days or something. No big deal. And the 3rd one came out and they were like, yep, done forever.
I mean, because I recall when I got into crypto, you were like the top crypto trader on Twitter. Like, like every time you would post something, like me, Ugo, our entire crew, we're like, oh man, this trade is hot.
Crypto in general has like a very like hive mind mentality, the crypto trading scene. So like it all started with just like a crazy winning streak, and everyone started to follow me from there because I was just having like a really good string of good luck. But then once it became like more than luck, once it became more of just like the hive mind sort of took over, like anything I posted would immediately get pumped. Right. So like it doesn't matter if it was like nothing, if the charts look like crap, as long as like I posted, just because there was like that whole like following behind me, it would just pump, and then people would start following just to get in on those pumps, and it just sort of snowballed itself.
Now, did that power scare you in any way?
It was it was interesting to say the least. I wouldn't say it scared me, but I definitely wasn't ready for it. Like it was manageable for a while, but once it got up to like, I think once I hit like 90,000 followers or something like that, it was unmanageable. Like it was just like I was still trying to trade, and like I would like say like, hey, like buy in slowly, or like here's a support, like scale in, or like we're coming up to a resistance, like start setting limit orders. Like people would just pump and dump on each other ridiculously, and like the pumps and the dumps would be so intense that it would just completely throw any TA that was out there out the window. Like it was untradeable basically. So that was definitely not a good experience when I got to that point.
I mean, so I've personally kind of gone through the same thing, but more with
Mhm.
ICOs.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
after a while, when so many people would follow me just to get in without really doing any research on anything, just because I got in, then it became really, really hard to trade the ICOs once I began trading. So with me, I ended up now just kind of taking everything private and trying to keep things small because
Mhm.
not everything can scale, especially when you have a huge following and you're trying to be so transparent and just share every trade, every investment. One thing I learned was it's hard to scale that without really affecting the market.
Yeah. I'm actually sort of taking the same approach. Uh, I've already had like 2 other Twitter accounts, but I wasn't, actively marketing it like I was with the old account. Like I'm fine with just growing slowly. And now like my TA and all that stuff, I also just try to keep things with a small, you know, steady group, close knit group, instead of, blasting it out there for like thousands and thousands of people to see. So I definitely understand the small group approach, and I think it's definitely a lot more wise, considering the fact that you know these markets are basically so liquid that any sort of, if you have that much influence and that much power into something, but you can't control it, like you can't control other people. If you say something to like buy in here or whatever, you can't control how they buy in or how much they buy in. So that much of like the unknown, is, it works against you. So yeah, definitely keeping something small and close knit is I think the approach to go by.
All right, so let's take a step back. What were you doing prior to crypto?
I was doing SEO, like search engine optimization stuff, e-commerce sort of things. I was just sort of hopping around, job to job.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and prior to all that, I was like in the military. Um, you know, I got involved into crypto by being a vendor on Silk Road for a little while. so uh, so
Uh-huh.
yeah, I was kind of all over the place. But I got into crypto by basically, well, through the Silk Road stuff, but by basically, just investing a little bit, like a savings account, basically a little bit every paycheck, just putting some money into like Ethereum and Bitcoin mostly. And then once stuff started to really take off, that's basically where I dropped everything else and just started trading full time, and I've been trading ever since, basically.
So how'd you learn to trade?
Google.
Google?
I Everything I learned from Google.
Any particular resources you used or courses, anything like that?
The 2 that I learned from that I always recommend is Investopedia.com. If you go, I mean, Investopedia has like everything that you can learn about anything finance. But if you go to the little like search bar and you just type in technical analysis, they have a really good, um, basically like beginner course that's like free, of just everything to do with like day trading and TA. And I learned from that mostly, but then stockcharts.com is another, um, similar thing, but
Mm.
it's, instead of like all the extra information that Investopedia has, it's more just, TA and trading like that. And then I haven't used this because I already sort of learned this stuff by the time I heard about it, but babypips.com, baby pips. Um, that one's a good one, where it's actually like a structured, like, oh, you learn this first, you learn this first, you learn this first. I've checked it out. It's definitely useful for people trying to get into it.
Yeah, so when I got into trading, actually in 2016, I definitely did use Investopedia a lot.
Yeah.
And Investopedia is free. Is Stock Charts free? And Baby Pips?
Yes. Yeah. Stock charts and baby pips are free. I think baby pips might have some sort of like a payment
Mhm.
thing, like if you want to get to the advanced stuff. I'm not entirely too sure, but the stuff that I saw, yeah, it was free. And then if you guys want to check out my information,
Yeah,
I
of
got like
course.
I got like 9 hours of like educational content on YouTube. It's all free. And then like
What's
some
your
like
channel?
Medium articles. I'm not the wolf.
Wow, okay. Didn't know you had a YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's not the most popular. I don't upload that much. It's a lot of work, man, editing these things.
I mean, just do it live. Just do live streams like me. It's an easy edit. You just do it live and boom, that's it.
But then you got to sit and like invest a lot of time like into a schedule. You know, me, most of my days, like my life is basically traveling the world, and like whenever I go to work, I just go to like a coffee shop, like Starbucks or whatever cool little mom and pop coffee shop is around there. And then I sit down and I just work all day, you know? So like every day I'm always going to like a new place to have lunch, a new place to,
Yeah.
have a beer after work, or
Yeah.
coffee shop to work at.
So speaking of travel, where are some places you've traveled to? What places do you like? What places don't you like?
Well, I think we remember our little meetup at Patio.
That one stays off the blockchain.
Oh man, the boot. Oh god,
that boot is legend.
that was a legendary meetup. Patio's great. I mean, it's like a Disneyland for men, or degenerates, I should say. There's just a lot of females that like to go there too. But Pattaya, I love Bangkok. Phuket's also really nice. Not that much of a big city, but it's beautiful tropical island stuff. Vietnam is great for staying productive because Thailand I party way too much.
Oh really?
It has the best food. Vietnam's like for foodie haven. I love it. It's great. Not a big fan of Cambodia, unfortunately. It has a lot of history and stuff, but it's just a little bit too wild west. I've mostly been around in like Southeast Asia. Bali's really nice, but it doesn't feel like Asia. It just feels like a European island.
Bunch of expats.
Yeah, it's just expat island. That's all it is. But it's still nice, beautiful beaches and waterfalls and stuff. I still want to go to like Jakarta and Malaysia and a few places like that. South Korea I have to visit. Tokyo's amazing.
Tokyo I love, yeah.
Yeah, Tokyo's great.
I think Tokyo has the best food in the world.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like it's like an Eastern America, obviously, but I don't know, like the food is just too. It's just not authentic enough for me. Like the ramen and stuff is.
In Tokyo?
Yeah, man.
Where'd you go, man?
I mean, I went around everywhere, but like, there's like, I like the little like ramen shops where it's just you walk in and it's just like a small bar.
Yeah, the shop bars, the udon noodles, the wagyu beef, the sushi. I mean, everything.
Yeah, the sushi's great. But like if you can visit like those like sort of fast food joints, which I tend to go to a lot just because I'm always on the move. But like with the little ATM things where you basically just pay at the little ATM thing and then you sit down and they get your food. I mean, the food's good, but it's not like.
I haven't done. I mean, I was doing more like just boutique spots, like hole in the walls, like places locals.
Yeah, those are the best, dude. Yeah. But unfortunately I didn't go to that many of those. I went to a few, which were really good. But
India?
No, I want to go.
Yeah, it's up there too. India, I think, is close with Tokyo in terms of best food.
And also, I think I'm more of a fan of like the curry, spicy food. Tokyo didn't really have that much. Like,
you'll love India then. You'll love India. India has that palate. No, my business partner Diego is Colombian, and you're also Colombian. He did not like spicy food at all. Like he couldn't handle it.
I didn't either until I went to Thailand. And Thailand has some spicy ass food.
Yeah.
Like the first week I was in Thailand, I got stomach ulcers from a spicy Thai soup, which is pretty bad. But ever since then, I tend to like spicy food now.
Because India is like where curry came from, I believe. I mean, because everything that has curry, like Diego was trying to avoid eating anything with curry. Mm-hmm. He couldn't escape it. Even the salt there has curry.
The salt?
Yeah, like everything has traces of curry because it's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. So Vietnam. Now, what are you up to nowadays?
I'm just basically back to traveling again. I took a little bit of a break, went back home, but I'm back to traveling. I just started opening up the Wolf Pack again for 2020. I do believe that we're gonna be bullish for the remainder of 2020. Right now, we have that sort of panic scare of like the whole coronavirus
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Dow Jones is taking a hell of a hit. I just charted it actually. It's taking a hell of a hit, but today, it's Friday. I feel like so many people have already sold and sort of panicked that on the daily chart, the candlestick I think is going to close as an abandoned baby. So next week, Monday, we'll likely see a bounce up in the market. And that abandoned baby could either signify, the bottom and it can continue going back up, or at least a significant bounce, like a relief bounce, because we definitely need a dead cat bounce for the Dow Jones, S&P 500, and even crypto.
Mm-hmm.
So if we do bottom out here for the weekend, I think crypto should also sort of cool down, since it's mimicking the legacy markets. And if we bottom out here for crypto and continue going up, then we basically form the right shoulder, the bottom of a right shoulder for the large inverse head and shoulders that everyone's been charting for the past few weeks.
Now, are you a day trader, a swing trader? How long do you hold when you?
I'm just a trader, man. Like I day trade sometimes, I swing trade sometimes. It highly depends on the position that I'm able to get in. Like if I catch the bottom of something and it's like a really, really good position, I very much like to sort of let the winner run. So if I catch the bottom of something and it just pumps right back up and it looks like it's going to keep on going higher, then I'll likely just, set a stop at a certain point and just let it run. And if that's the bottom of like a very big trend, then, or a very big rally, then you could consider me a swing trader, because I'll let that run for multiple weeks.
Right.
For altcoin, I am a day trader because I personally don't trust altcoins. So I don't like to hold bags on that, So if even if we go back to like a rally like 2017, I'm more of confirming those profits, and if it comes back down, buy back again, or even if it goes back up higher, higher. But as long as I'm always just sort of confirming those profits and make sure that I'm not stuck hodling through an entire pump and then crash back down, that's sort of my strategy with altcoins.
So, what's your overall investment strategy that you follow? I mean, obviously, you can't give away everything, but just kind of give us a highlight of how you approach the market as a trader.
Well, I have two main basically trading accounts. So like that I'm doing right now. So like one is the altcoin portfolio. And basically that's just spot trading, et cetera, et cetera. And that's like 50% of my holdings. And the other 50% is basically on margin exchanges, where I use roughly 1 to 3x leverage, but primarily focused around 2x leverage. So I'm basically leveraging or hedging against the altcoin markets with leverage trading.
Mm-hmm.
And the 2x is basically just like my whole capital, while I also play around on the altcoin market. So like if I'm like if I'm like short 2x on the leverage exchange, then that's basically my entire capital. And let's say the price starts pumping, and Bitcoin pumps with altcoins, then at least I have half my capital in altcoins to play the rally in altcoins, and then I could just send some of the capital back over to my leverage account in order to manage the position to either cover my short, or like to get out at a better exit than I would have if I had just been trading on one account, one size, or something like that. I don't know if that's makes any sense or not, but
I think so. So basically, if you're short Bitcoin, you're long altcoins in your other portfolio as a hedge.
yeah, I like to hedge quite frequently. The only thing is that in 2017 the market was very abstract, in the sense of like when altcoins were going up, Bitcoin was going down. And now in 2020, 2019, when Bitcoin goes up, altcoins are going up. So now they're in sync. Before they were abstract from one another. But just playing it the way that I'm currently playing it, and If the market's like super, super bullish, then I'll exit out of the short, but at least I'll still have capital in altcoins. But sort of playing both sides, I think is for me the safest way to tackle any sort of volatility that comes into the market. I may not be making, you know, tons of money in like one single trade by going 25x full degen mode, but the safety and security definitely helps me like sleep at night, unlike 2017 when I was awake like 24/7.
So speaking of that, how do you handle risk management in crypto? I mean, obviously there are lots of exchanges out there that have 100x leverage, futures trading. That seems to be pretty hot right now. So how do you handle risk management?
So a lot of people think that like risk management is basically just like setting a stop. I think that, you know, risk management entails multiple different things. You know, it's not just setting a stop. It's also how you want to trade in terms of how much capital you put into each trade. Like some people use the 2% rule, which I've used in the past, is extremely good trading strategy.
2% of and your portfolio, right?
Yeah. So like any trade that you go into, you only put in 2% of your portfolio. So the whole concept is supposed to be like, you know, no one will ever make, you know, 50 losing trades in a row in order to get completely liquidated. So that's basically the concept of like the whole 2% rule, is to basically only put in a little bit so that if you do lose it, it's not a big hit on your portfolio, and you always have the chance to make it back. So as long as you're making, you know, 51% wins, then you'll more than likely, you know, start gaining over a long period of time. So I used to do that. I still do it from time to time. It's definitely a good trading or a good risk management strategy. But lately I'm more into position management, where it's like I sort of explained to you before, it's more of like the hedging, you know, trading the altcoin markets while I'm hedging against, you know, the leverage markets or the margin markets. And sort of that back and forth. So if I make money on altcoins, then I'll just send some funds over to the leverage to sort of cover my position, and I'll still have some more money on the side to continue trading the altcoins, and basically just but transferring the funds back and forth in order to make sure that I'm getting out at a better position each time.
All right. So what are some challenges you've had when it comes to being a trader, and how have you solved them?
There's a lot of challenges, man. Most of it is like mental, you know, like sometimes you're just so there's two huge challenges that I think every trader sort of tackles at least at one point in their career or throughout the entire time. One of the biggest challenges for me was taking profits out of the market. And I don't mean just like closing your position. I mean taking the money out of the fucking crypto market. Can I cuss on here?
Might as well.
My bad. But taking the profits out of the crypto market and into your bank account, like actual hard US dollar, credit card, whatever, like cash. So one of the problems that I had before was that I always kept everything in the markets. And like if you keep some of that capital, like even in your trading account, like even if it's USD, like on Coinbase, it's still so easy to just put that right back into the market, you know. And then next thing you know, you're playing with money that you're supposed to be keeping, or you're supposed to be making. So to me, my biggest challenge was actually doing that, because I've always wanted to, like, you know, get back to my heights of like 2017 of being, you know, multimillionaire, blah, blah, blah. So getting the, whenever I make like a decent amount of profits, basically taking like half of that out or a quarter of that out, and limiting myself. So if I ever make over a certain amount in capital, taking out all of the excess up to my cap, and then continue trading with my cap. And that was a huge challenge for me to take, because you just kind of want to keep on making more and more money, basically.
Speaking of that, so as somebody who's a full-time trader, how do you manage getting capital into your bank account into cash to handle living expenses. So do you like pull out money every month, kind of like paying yourself and then saying, "Hey, here, I'm gonna live on this for this month." So how do you handle that?
Dang, Mr. IRS. No, basically just that. Yeah, like every week, every month, take some money out, and I like to live fairly how do you call it?
Minimalistic.
Yeah, I'm a minimalist for sure. Um, so I'm also a procrastinator, so I tend to just wait until like my funds dry out and then pull out a lot of the times. But yeah, like you see, I still struggle with pulling the cash out. But yeah, for the most part, like once every week, once every month, I try to sit down and like look and see, okay, like how much have I made this week, and then pull out a certain amount and sort of pocket that into my bank account, at least for the remainder of the month or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, because that's kind of one thing I didn't really plan for when I went full time into crypto. Nobody tells you that you actually have less crypto at times because you're living off your crypto because you have to sell a lot more than you had planned for. So that
Yeah.
was something I kind of had to deal with.
Yeah, mine. I mean, a lot of my spending usually comes out when I'm moving from country to country. When I'm flying out, because you gotta pay for the tickets, you gotta, pay for
Private jet.
the not a private jet. But yeah, you gotta pay for the flights, you gotta pay for like the new hotel, and every
Yeah.
time when you first go someplace, it's always expensive because you don't know where all of the
Now, have you tried any of
other
those
areas are at.
crypto credit debit cards like BitPay or
I, I
other?
wanna I wanna try out Monaco. I've been meaning to like get one for like a year now. But I just procrastinate so much. But I want to try out MCO, which is funny because MCO fucked me in 2017. but I do want to try them out because they have like Airbnb like cashback, and I use Airbnb quite often.
Mhm. Really?
Especially when I'm for
MCO
yeah.
Monaco has Airbnb
Yeah.
cashback?
Yeah, like I forgot which one it was, but like one of these cards that you have to stake the coin and get one of these cards, and there's like an Airbnb cashback. I think it's like 10% too. It's quite a bit.
Wow.
It has Netflix paid for free or something, like a bunch of other weird stuff. And then there's like 5% cashback on everything. So in terms of like crypto cards, I think Monaco would definitely be the one that I'd be interested in the most. But right now I don't use any. But I should. I think I definitely
Yeah.
should be doing
So
that.
the one I use is BitPay. Well, not really use. I've only used it like twice in like 3 years.
The
But
one
actually,
you hold.
the first time I used it was in Vancouver. So, I mean, it
Okay.
definitely does work internationally. But I mean, the whole premise of having to sell Bitcoin and then transfer the USD, and then there's a limit on how much you can like hold on the card or transfer. I think it's like 25 grand. It was just too much friction to really use it. So I just transfer straight to my bank account.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass, especially when like me, like I said before, I procrastinate. So there's times like even recently with Ashton, I met up with them downtown, and I was like, oh wait, I gotta check to see how much like money I have in this account really quick. And then because I run into this like hiccup where I send money to my account uh, to cash out into my bank account, but then I forget to cash out of my bank account. So it's like sitting in USD, but just not in my bank account. So now I'm like, oh, I got to see how much like funds I got in my bank account, and then like when I see that I have to restock up on it, I'm like, oh damn, I better do this now. And then the weekend comes, and it's like 3 to 5 business days ACH transfer to go from uh from your crypto, basically your crypto accounts to your bank account. And then like I'm just sort of stuck out in the air with like I obviously have money to live off of, but then I'm stuck because I procrastinated, and I'm waiting on these freaking bank transfers, which take forever in my opinion. So it'd be really cool. That's like one of the reasons why crypto needs to you know progress into the mainstream, so that we get rid of these 3 to 5 day ACH bank transfers that are just ridiculous. Like if I have money, why can't I spend my money right now? But I feel like something like Monaco would definitely help with that, and which is why I need to get it, because if I have my money in crypto, I could just use that right then and there, instead of reverting back to the legacy banking system, which is slow as hell.
So actually, I have a question for you. This is actually a Peter Thiel question. So
What question?
Peter Thiel, he's a famous investor from PayPal.
Okay, yeah.
So tell me something that's true that almost nobody agrees with you on. Kind of putting you on the spot there, but let me know. You're kind of contrarian on.
The whole market is manipulated, but I think that there's quite a few people that probably agree with me on that. I think the whole crypto market's manipulated.
Like 100%, like everything.
100%.
Why is that?
I just, I've seen some things, heard some things. Talked with exchanges, and like basically like it's just like yo, the market's manipulated. I'm just like, I knew it.
Now, do you think that's because of like state actors like CIA or secret agencies for different governments, or
I'm not gonna go that far into saying that I know or I have this idea of who it is. My tinfoil hat is not on that tight, but I definitely think that there is some entity out there, which could be like a group of traders, it could be governmental, or it could be whatever. But I definitely think there's some entity out there that is, for the most part, manipulating or sort of controlling the price movements of the entire market, because we know that everything mimics Bitcoin, right? All the altcoin stuff mimic Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is, it's a pretty big asset, but it's not that big. There's plenty of players that can basically move it around, and you don't need that much to actually move it, because a lot of the assets that are already there are hodlers for the most part. Most people aren't traders, they're hodlers. So as long as you have enough capital to control the daily volume,
price.
Yeah, then you can influence the movement of Bitcoin, which influences the movement of altcoins and basically the entire crypto space. So as long as you have enough capital to influence that, then you can manipulate the market.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that iceberg. It's like the tip of the iceberg is just that, but if you go beneath, there's so much more that can easily. Yeah. I mean, well said. Okay, so we also have some other questions we typically ask our guests. What are 3 books that have inspired you or changed your life?
Oh, my life. I read a lot. I can't remember the books. So I don't know if, I think it's pretty public now. I spent some time in the big house prison.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Oh yeah. So not everybody knows, but I've been pretty public with it before in the past. I spent 2 years in prison for, the Silk Road.
Silk Road? Oh, wow.
Yeah, Silk Road stuff. So during my time in there, I definitely read a lot, but my memory's shit, so I can't really remember the books that I've already. I mean, I've read like all the Game of Thrones and stuff, but things that actually, I have to get back on you with that one. There's some pretty interesting books out there, but I have to get back on you. The Lotus Sutra is one of the most interesting that I read.
Lotus Sutra?
Yeah, but that one's a really hard read.
Is that what I think it is about?
That's the book from Buddha. Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking Kama.
Oh, Kama Sutra. No. Man, you dirty. No wonder why you went to India.
I know. I mean, like, they both had the name Sutra, so I just assumed it was like. But anyway, just my ignorance. Okay, so next question: who are 3 people in history that have inspired you or changed your life?
I guess my father, super. I mean, nobody knows him, obviously, but like.
Yeah. Well, let's say outside your family and friends.
Outside my family and friends. I don't even know. Why are you telling me all these questions? I can't even think of on the spot. This guy, where's he at? That guy,
Bitcoin
right?
guy?
Right. The buy Bitcoin guy. No, I think I don't know. That one I can't. I don't know either, man. I have to. I suck at thinking on the spot, you know?
We'll,
Especially when I
we'll put
feel
you
like.
on the spot with all these questions.
Give me an easy one. Give me an easy one.
What are three actions you took that have transformed your life?
Okay, that one's an easy one. Learn from my mistakes. You know, I was heavily involved with drugs. I learned from that. Like I just knew that it was like leading me down a very dark road.
Yeah. I mean, are you
Obviously,
able to share more? What kind of got you in the big house and what you were doing?
uh,
So much.
manufacturing and distribution.
Yeah.
So
Pablo?
yeah,
You're Pablo.
yeah, I was an original DMT Silk Road vendor. So
Wow.
I was pushing DMT on the Silk Road. I was a psychonaut back in the day. So like, it, you know, when a lot of people hear about, or when I hear about McAfee and his stories and stuff, I kind of feel like, yeah, he's sort of in a sense a kindred spirit, but like he didn't even know the like the research chemical names of like mephedrone, and he said like white dove and like the stuff that you buy on the gas stations and stuff,
Mhm.
the bath salt stuff. Whoa, excuse me, the bath salts. Um, like I was like really heavily in that scene, so like I wasn't buying bath salts. I was buying like the actual chemical compounds and like spice and AM 2201 and blah blah, and like just uh growth or not growth hacking, biohacking, like using them on myself and sort of experimenting
Oh,
and
wow.
like just like zoning out and having crazy psychedelic experiences. I was kind of hippie. I was very hippie back in the days.
So
uh
how'd they catch you?
I got snitched on.
Oh, man, it's
Yeah, I got snitched on, unfortunately. That's a
um,
whole
by,
different.
by a person you trusted or just random person?
uh so all right, so this is gonna open up a can of worms. So the my I have a daughter. I was married before when I was young.
Mhm.
My ex-wife had she had an affair with my best friend for 3 months, and then after that, who my best friend tried to end up try to kill me because
Wow.
he fell in love with her. Yeah, but anyways, so
Man,
that's a whole crazy story. Uh,
that
but
can be a
but
TV show right there.
oh yeah, yeah. Everyone keeps saying I need to write a book, but basically when I found out, I kicked them out of my house because I was like taking care of all of them. So like I kicked them out of my house.
So he was staying in your house when the whole thing happened?
Yeah, yeah. Because
Oh,
he was like basically gonna be like homeless and on the streets, and he was like a close friend of mine. So I was like, you know what, just I'll take you in, like pay me back later, blah blah. Um, but anyway, so they had an affair, blah blah. I find out because he tried to basically have me overdose when I was overdosing, and he wouldn't take me to the hospital. You know what I mean? So finally, after I finally did go to the hospital, the next day I came back home and I was like, you know what, like screw you, like F you, like I want you out of my life, like get the hell out of here. And then finally when like the freaking cops came to escort him out of my house, the that's when the truth came out. He texted me the whole truth, and then I went crazy. I was only like 19, 20. I was like 20 at the time. So then I was like, I left the house and I went crazy for 2 weeks, where I was doing all sorts of crazy shit, like fucking methoxetamine, which is like a ketamine derivative with, like uh, Latin King members and like just
mhm.
all sorts of crazy shit. But anyways, so within those 2 weeks, I realized that like if I didn't like simmer the hell down, I was gonna die because I was just going too crazy. So then I went back home, and that's when I told my now ex-wife, you know what, we're getting a divorce. I'm gonna sleep in my daughter's room because I have a daughter. I'm gonna sleep in my daughter's room. You're gonna sleep in the master bedroom. We're getting a divorce. And then this is where I messed up. I said, and I'm going to take custody of my daughter. And I was, and I was like, and I was done with the whole drug stuff and everything. Like I had no more supply or anything like that. So then, and I just wanted all that out of my life, basically. So then a week later, she basically sets me up before I can get rid of all of the evidence. So I didn't have anything on me, but I had like, you know, paraphernalia with like residue and stuff like that. So that's what they were able to.
Wow. So she called the cops. That's crazy.
Yeah. And then she snitched on me just so that I wouldn't be able to take custody of the daughter.
Wow.
Yeah. Crazy,
I mean,
crazy
but
life.
couldn't she be like an accomplice? Wasn't she like an accomplice though?
No. No, this was they basically did nothing to her at all. And they even ended up throwing her what do you call it? Her testimony, or what is it called?
Testimony? Yeah.
Yeah. They even ended up throwing like her whatever she said out the window, because later on when they like went through my phone and all that other stuff, I didn't know that, you know, cops can pull up all your deleted text messages with like just plugging your phone into some machine. Yeah. So if you guys think deleting text messages is gonna clear stuff up, it's definitely not. But basically once the text messages and everything came out, they threw her stuff out the window, because you can obviously tell that like she was lying, saying that she wasn't affiliated with everything. But either way, they still already from there had enough evidence to just lock me up. And I mean, I pled guilty. You know, I was just like, whatever, I'm just gonna do my time. And
now, did you try to have a lawyer or help you? Like, try to?
Yeah, I mean, not a paid one. You know, I just had the public defender.
Yeah, I mean, so I've been told that the public ones aren't really so good, because they work too much. They have like hundreds of cases they're working. They only have like 15 minutes for you or whatever. But man,
yeah, but you know, but like I knew I was guilty. You know what I mean? So like, what am I gonna do? Try to like, like I was, you know, I got caught. Fuck it, man up to it. Move on.
Yeah.
I mean, they try to give me like a deal to like, oh, you know, rat out all your friends to get less time, and I was just like, nah, I'm not gonna do that, because you know, I fucked up. Like I'm not gonna ruin other people's lives just because I fucked up. You know?
So was this like a felony? I take it.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I don't know, because it was like with like research chemicals and stuff. So I'm not entirely too sure if it is a felony.
So
or
what was it like being in the big house? Like, was it scary, or were there fights all the time?
Nah. I mean, those fights like a few times, but not that many. All the other stuff that you see, like, you know, rapings and stuff like that, that's all Hollywood bullshit. Like if you want to have, if you want to fuck a dude, like you'll just go have sex with the gay guy or something, you know, like, but yeah, for the most part, it was just a lot of working out. Like I was like a twig. I was in at like 125 pounds. I was like super skinny, like anorexic. And when I got out, I was just like fucking Greek god, you know, body structure. So, and that's actually where I got like really into shape and into like working out and stuff.
Would you do like just bench pressing or a bunch of other stuff?
No, everything, man. Like, you know, a lot of deadlifts, a lot of, I used to like run a lot of like the sort of PT like groups and stuff. So like we would do like
PT,
physical training.
physical training. Okay.
Yeah. So like we would do like, you know, play card games and just like do push-ups if you lose or like whatever. But there was days that we would do like thousands of push-ups. Every day I would do like I think it was 100 calf raises on the stairs, like in between commercials, whenever we're all watching like what do you call it? The two most popular shows when I was in was Vikings and The Walking Dead.
Wait,
So like
nice. Yeah.
yeah, so like whenever that came on, like everybody was sitting there watching it, you know.
Hold up. I mean, so what was your schedule like in the big house? I mean, because how much time do you have for PT, for watching TV, for being in the box? Like, what's the schedule like?
I mean, you just, you know, you wake up at a specific time, you go to your work thing. Like I worked a lot in the kitchen. A lot of people work there, but you go to whatever your job assignment is. For the kitchen, it was like three shifts, but like it was like broken up throughout the day, I believe. I mean, I barely even remember anymore. But you go do your job thing, and then after that, like in the evening, you basically have the entire day to just lounge around in the common areas, and either read a book or play board games. I was heavily into chess. I'm a pretty good chess player, actually. Card games, or like you sit down and you watch TV. So like my routine was usually wake up, read the newspaper, which I got a funny story about Bitcoin on that. But basically wake up, read the newspaper. One day that I woke up to read the newspaper before I went out to go get breakfast, I had cashed out all my Bitcoin like a few months basically prior to getting locked up. So when I'm sitting there reading the newspaper, like right at the front of the headlines of like the finance section was like, Bitcoin reaches $1,000. And I see that, and I had like 380 Bitcoin or something like that, like 388 Bitcoin, I don't know, something like that. And that I cashed out at like $80. So like, so like when I'm sitting there and I'm reading the newspaper, it says, Bitcoin reaches $1,000. So then I just stand up and I just throw the newspaper up in the air, and it just goes flying. It spreads apart, goes flying everywhere. And I just yell out, "Fuck!" And the guard's like, obviously this was my name back then, but the guard's like, "Wolf, what the fuck are you doing?" And I'm just like, because if I would have held, I would have had so much money.
Yeah.
Even though it crashed afterwards, but still, the fact that I had just recently sold it and it was just like $80, and then like I checked the newspaper and it's just goes up so much. I was like, damn, dude, just imagine. And then actually from there is when I actually first started getting into like the trading stuff. But obviously I was just paper trading. So I would actually like pick out and the only thing that I had was just the finance newspaper. But I would pick out, keep updated with everything that I read on the finance newspapers, and then pick out whatever like stocks I think would be going up or whatever. So like one of the things that I did was actually when Tesla was like, I forgot what price it was. It was low as hell. I think it was like 80 or something as well, or like 50. I forget. But like I bought it at a super low price, and then like while I was in there, it skyrocketed to like 300, and I was like, damn, if I was out and I actually would have put money in this, like it would have made so much money. But from there, just like I had like a little journal of just like writing down like what I would buy, when I would sell, blah blah blah. For the most part, I was just like blind guessing, but that was sort of my very first introductory into the finance world.
Now, do you have access to computers? If so, how long in the big house?
The one that I was at, we had access to a computer, but it wasn't connected to the internet. The only thing that you could see was like ISINs or
Like
some like,
huh? Like IM?
No, none of that. I was we didn't have any access to like phones in terms of like cell phones or anything like that. We only had the like cable phones that they record you on. The computers was just like if you needed to type something out, like some people were like writing books and stuff, so they would sit on the computers all day, but there was no like internet access or anything like that. So yeah, it was pretty like shut out from the whole world. That's probably the worst part of the entire experience, was that you have no idea what's going on anywhere. Like I had a girlfriend when I went in. The funny story, they messed up on my paperwork, so I was actually out for a little bit of time before they basically found new evidence and was like, wait, why is he out? And then they threw me back in. So because they fucked up, yeah. So because they fucked up, I ended up spending like a month in jail, and then I got out, and then I went back in, and I spent 2 years in prison.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but when I got out after that like month or whatever, I was like, I thought it was over with. So, I went partying and stuff, and I ended up getting a new girlfriend, and then I went back in. uh,
Uh,
and that was fun. So like for the first few months, she was still like, I guess, loyal or whatever.
uh-huh.
And then randomly, like, just all communication stops. And that's what sucks the most, is that you don't know if like she died or if like something happened. But obviously she just, found another dude and
Yeah.
ignored everything. But yeah, that's definitely the worst part, in my opinion, about the whole experience, was not being able to communicate with, you know, people.
I mean, so it's kind of like you're hopping into a time machine, then you come back out 2 years later, in a way, right?
Yeah, kind of, in a way. I wouldn't say a time machine, but it's just like a whole nother world. It's just like your world is that small facility, basically. As a small ass world, but in a sense, there's a lot of calmness that comes with that. Because when I was out before, I mean, I was going crazy, fucking overdosing and all this other crazy stuff. So like I had a huge like amount of stress in my life. It was just like super toxic. That's why I never went back into it, because I basically going to prison cleaned me up. Like, I got away from all the addictions that I was in, and blah blah blah. Like, I've already been there, done that. but it was sort of like a cleanse, like a 2-year cleanse, I sort of see. But yeah, it's that whole facility is like the entire world. Everyone that you see in there, people come and go all the time, but uh you really don't engage with anything else except for the friends that you make there, and just the staff and whatever.
I mean, so when you got out, was there any kind of technology that kind of surprised you? Like anything, or anything that you hadn't really anticipated that surprised you after being out?
No, the only thing was that when I got out, World of Warcraft had a new expansion. And that was basically it. But like, it's still the same video game consoles, like everything was basically the same. It was 2 years is not that big of a
The deal.
it's not that big of a jump, yeah. But I feel like if you stayed in for probably like 15 years or something, yeah, that would be,
You're like, oh, what? There's Uber. There are computers in
yeah,
hand. You know.
yeah, that would be crazy. I wouldn't want to stay inside of a box for 15 years, that's for sure. But but yeah, I could see that being like a huge sort of leap
All right.
for
Well,
that sort of scenario.
I mean, that was definitely a hell of a story. I think probably the best story we've had on our show yet. I mean, I definitely think you should turn that into a book, maybe even a movie or TV show, because it's definitely Hollywood type
Oh
stuff.
man, and I was very very careful. I mean, I go into way deeper details, way more fucked up details than that. But yeah, I don't know how edgy your your show is.
I mean, why not? Let's push the edge. The show is called 100X.
Oh man, you don't even know. But I mean, I sort of wrote a lot of this stuff down. If I mean, if your listeners want to read on Medium, my account is I'm Not the Wolf, and I wrote sort of my story on like 2017, and like how it was like becoming, from just starting off on Twitter to becoming like one of the top followed traders,
Mhm.
and just sort of that whole like big bubble boom experience of that basically everyone was experiencing in 2017, at least everyone that came and got in early, um but sort of the whole like bubble ride up and then the pop coming back down. But before that, I also dive into a little bit of like the past with like going to jail and da da da. And after I got out of jail, here's a funny thing that I'm sure a lot of people will laugh about. After I got out of jail, I was trying to stay on the straight and narrow.
Hmm.
So I was just like looking for jobs like left and right, like everywhere. Like I was this was where I was homeless for a portion of the time. I was living in my car. I had a gym membership to 24-hour fitness, so I would park and sleep in the parking lot right outside. Wake up in the morning, do my workout, take a shower, change, brush my teeth, and then go look for work. And and after a while, like, nope, I figured out no place was hiring me because I was writing down that, you know, I have been previously arrested. Even McDonald's at one point rejected me, and I
Oh,
got the rejection notice before I even got the thank you for signing up, or thank you for, you know,
oh wow.
yeah, thank you
So
for
how did-
signing the application. Yeah, so after that, like, uh, I basically kind of gave up trying to go by the normal job route, and I became a stripper for a little bit.
what?
Yeah. For
Oh
like
man,
a few months,
I
man.
get
You gotta
two
make ends meet.
here.
Yeah, you gotta make ends meet, man. You have to live. So yeah, I became a stripper for a little bit until I finally found like a regular job as like an
Where was
IT
this?
recruiter. Where was this?
Yeah.
Florida, man. Of
Okay.
course, Florida, man. So yeah, that's a pretty colorful tidbit to my history. And then
Man, I had no idea your story was like this.
yeah, man, my story's crazy.
And I think this beats McAfee's story, I think.
I mean, McAfee's got a crazy story of his own, man. But he was like
I mean,
freaking.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, McAfee didn't really share that much on the show like that.
Yeah, I feel like
It was good though too. It
you
is.
don't know you don't know the viewer base, so you don't know what people want to hear. So I mean, I've been wanting to do a podcast of my own, but when I do it, I don't know if like it's just gonna be too degenerate, you know.
You might as well just own it.
Yeah, I mean that's what I try to do. Like fuck it, it's
I mean,
still history.
but I think his story definitely is a success story, right? It's a comeback story. So
Yeah,
you're going from jail to homeless to becoming one of the top crypto traders on Twitter,
yeah.
and and becoming a millionaire, right? In 2017.
Yeah, for a time being, I unfortunately lost the millionaire status, but you know, I'm definitely doing good enough to where I can travel and eat
Yeah.
wherever I want and work wherever I want and stuff like that. So I'm getting there slowly, little by little,
So
but I'm getting
in
there.
a way, crypto saved you, right? Because
Oh yeah,
being in a big house is tough to get work, but being able to trade crypto full time has given you a way to make a living.
yeah. It's I mean, you could trade forex and stocks as well, but uh, you know, I started with crypto. I know crypto more than everything else. I enjoy following crypto more than everything else. And crypto's 24 hours, so it just has more opportunity for you to make trades, like work on the weekends, et cetera, et cetera. I'm working every day. um but not only that, the just the lifestyle opportunity definitely opens up so many different um windows, basically. So many different doors. Like, I never thought that I'd be every 2 months living in a different country,
Yeah.
and you know, working wherever the hell I want to work. Or like, I just bring my laptop in my backpack and I just literally go wherever the day takes me. Um, and I think it's just like one of the coolest ways to live, like the whole digital nomad life. And it's definitely one of those like financial freedom sort of memes that everyone's talking about. Oh, I can't wait to get financial freedom.
I mean, dude, I mean, that's you right there. I mean,
Yeah.
you should definitely be more public with it. I mean, because that's a hell of a success story.
Yeah. I've been pretty public with it. It's just getting the viewer base. You know, when you don't have the huge following anymore, it's a lot
Well,
harder to
I
get
mean,
the word out there.
so I think with this interview, I think we will definitely get you a whole new viewer base. Speaking of that, so where can people follow you, learn more about you? You mentioned your Medium, your YouTube channel, your Twitter. Can you kind of give that out?
Yeah. So due to the whole like tidbit of getting in trouble with with Twitter, uh, I am now known as I'm Not the Wolf. So on Twitter, it's at I'm Not the Wolf. You know, the little at sign, whatever you call it. YouTube is also I'm Not the Wolf. Medium is I'm Not the Wolf. Facebook is I'm Not the Wolf. Telegram, I wouldn't trust that because there's so many different, you know, scammers out there.
Now, your Wolfpack group.
Yeah, that's right now. That's just like private. I'm just sort of opening it up to people on Twitter, whoever answer, because I'm trying to keep it really close, close knit. But I just opened that up like 2 weeks ago. Right now, it's not even, and no payers right now. It's just trial.
Mhm.
Um, but I plan on growing that out. I think I'm only going to keep it like maybe 100, maximum 200 membership count. But that's dependent on like how the volume, how the group sort of reacts with signals if once we do get to the altcoin spring phase and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's more on the like experimental, debatable side. But a lot of the stuff that I do post out is free. My YouTube channel, I want to get into YouTube a lot more, so I'm posting out a lot of educational stuff on that. Actually today, actually right after this, I'm going to post out a video that has tips and tricks on why everyone should be trading on like leverage exchanges. I'll just sort of lay it out for you really quick. One, everyone should be trading on leverage exchange because it's way lower fees. Instead of paying 0.25% or 1.5% if you're on Coinbase. But for the most part, it's like 0.5 to 0.25% for a lot of the spot markets. Instead of paying that, you can just trade on a leverage exchange and just use 1x leverage and pay 0.075%. So like even if you're not trading like on leverage like 5x, 10x, whatever, which involves more risk, even if you just want to trade the spot amount that you have, which is a lot lower risk, you can still do that and cut your fees by a significant amount. And then I also did like a little research thing that I gotta read a Medium article on, which is the possibilities of annual percentage yield for scalping the funding. So let's say you don't want to have a speculative investment tool like Bitcoin or anything like that. You just want to do a lot of like these sort of passive quant trading strategies, like scalping the whatever funding is. So you can just do like 1x short on these leverage exchanges and sort of scalp whenever the funding is in the positive. And for the year of 2017, the annual percentage yield was like 127%. For 2018, it was like 34% or something. 2019, it was like 17 point something percent. And then right now I'm still tracking the one for 2020, but 2020 is going pretty good so far, as like 4% or something like that. But anyways, I'm gonna go over a lot of sort of these things on my YouTube channel over time whenever I do get to finish the videos. But today I'll upload that video and then some other stuff. But yeah.
All right. Well, it was a pleasure. I'm not the wolf coming onto the show. Yeah, that's a story. So with that being said, if you guys liked us, be sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Also, if on the podcast, be sure to leave a review, because I think this was a hell of a story. All right, with that being said, as we like to end, the moon is not the limit, to the moon and beyond. 100x. Thank you.
Later, guys.
Since the creation of the internet, every industry has been turned upside down. Amazon changed retail. Uber changed transportation. YouTube changed video forever. With the invention of crypto, money is next. At the speed technology is growing, the future of money and securities are digital. 9 out of 10 millennials do not trust banks. The value of money relies on trust. Government debt is higher than it's ever been before. Central banks continue to print money. Fortunately, the world has a new solution. Experts predict in 7 years, 10% of the world's economy will be in crypto-based assets. Today, 1 billion people have access to the financial industry. Crypto is about empowering the other 6 billion people by banking the unbanked. Do not underestimate this. Do you wish you invested in Google, Amazon, or Netflix before anyone ever knew about them? $1,000 invested in Netflix turned to over $500,000. At Token Metrics, we help you find the next Netflix. Token Metrics users think differently about investing. They are early adopters looking for financial freedom. They are people who see a better world. a world without international borders. We believe in a world where everyone has access to the next financial revolution. At Token Metrics, we are creating a bridge that gets you to that revolution. We will help you make sound investments in this new world. The world's best investors do not rely on their intuition. They embrace technology and AI to invest. Token Metrics uses AI to find invisible patterns in data to help you invest and trade in crypto. In the past, we have used our data-driven system to achieve financial freedom. Now, we are giving you the keys. We created Token Metrics to be the only platform you'll ever need to make money in crypto. We give you AI and access to crypto experts at the best price. The moon is not the limit. To the moon and beyond.
Disclaimer. Token Metrics Media LLC does not provide individually tailored investment advice and does not take a subscriber's or anyone's personal circumstance into consideration when discussing investments, nor is it registered as an investment advisor or broker-dealer in any jurisdiction. Information contained herein is not an offer or solicitation to buy, hold, or sell any security. The Token Metrics team has advised and invested in many blockchain companies. A complete list of their advisory roles and current holdings can be viewed here at tokenmetrics.com/disclosures.